Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, roll call on the motion before us on resolution authorizing the city clerk to publish that proposed budget amendment for public notices. Clerk Doyle, roll call.
Nicholson?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Rutherford?
Yes.
Carrington?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
That motion carries. The resolution is adopted. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution to authorize the city clerk to publish the proposed budget amendment increasing budget revenues in the amount of $392,500, and this is related to United Way of Southeastern Michigan grant agreement that we'll be hearing more about, but this is essentially posting the notice so we can consider the budget amendment in 2 weeks. Is there such a motion?
I'll support.
It's been moved by Councilman Rutherford, seconded by Council President Pro Tem Carrington, that we consider the resolution to authorize the city clerk to publish the proposed budget amendment. Mayor Grimel, administration, for context, you have the floor.
Well, thank you, President McGinnis. Before I invite our grants director, Alex Borngesser, to the podium, I do just want to commend her and her entire department. She has a lot of excellent staff who work with her for their hard work in continuing to secure grant dollars. This is an amount of $392,500, nearly $400,000 in grant dollars from United Way for youth recreation programming, supplies, materials, anything relating to bolstering our youth recreation activity. And we're just very grateful for Director Borngesser's hard work and the hard work of her staff. That relates to the next agenda item as well, so I'll just say that for both agenda items, if I may do so, Mr. President. And Director Borngesser, do you have anything to add about the nature of this grant?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So this item and the next item are related. Of course, this is a $392,500 grant from United Way, which is actually American Rescue Plan dollars from Oakland County. As a pass-through through United Way, they will be programming the resources. As the mayor said, this is all for youth recreation activity in the city of Pontiac. But I did want to make one note, which you'll see in the scope, that this actually offsets the personnel budget here at the city by $200,000, which has been our objective, is to kind of work in indirect cost fees and staff time to grant-related activities. So.
Thank you. Questions on the motion before us? Councilman Nicholson.
The offset comment, I think, is one thing that when we continue to hear budget amendments and we're moving funds from one employee account and creating a new position like we did with the purchasing assistant, it always seems like we're spending more money, but it's through your efforts that we're able to spend the same amount of money and get, and go twice as far. So I can say it's astounding. And I love every time you get up, Councilwoman Rutherford asked the same question, and it seems redundant, but it's because we're excited to hear that number grow every single time. So it's impressive, and I can't wait to continue to resource your department.
Great.
Councilman Rutherford.
Way to go, Alex.
I would like to note that this was actually written primarily by Mike Martin from the grants team. Mike spent a lot of time writing the application, specifically the case for support, the narrative sections. Renee Hall from my team goes through all of the compliance. She makes sure that the budgets mirror the needs of the funder. And then Tanisha Taylor from the rec department actually gave input on the program description. So this type of work is really a team effort. I'm just the one that's lucky enough to stand at the podium.
Always a pleasure, darling.
Councilwoman James.
Yes, did I hear you say that part of the $392,500 would be used to offset staffing? Because I'm wondering, are we going to get this $392 to be used for additional recreational programming, or how's that going to divvy up?
So if you look at, and I'm sorry, there's quite a bit of material here, but if you look at page 10 of 13 in the scope, or scope of work, you'll see the full budget. There is $200,000 for personnel worked into that budget. In the budget amendment portion, you'll see that the finance team did parse that out in terms of full-time staff members and part-time seasonal, so there's a little discrepancy in the way it's cut up and applied here at City Hall. But in the budget here, you'll see $200,000. This is to offset the cost of personnel. We did use and establish the indirect cost fees based on the current salaries of those individuals. This grant application was written long ago, and then that actually will supplement the total cost of their salaries throughout the remainder of the year.
Okay, but approximately how much do you think will actually go into additional youth recreation?
The remainder of the grant.
Okay.
Yep, beyond the 200,000. The 200,000 is covering personnel, meaning staff time, and then the remainder of the grant goes towards contractual services, meaning programming, wraparound services, food, transportation, equipment, supplies, occupancy, things of that nature.
So about 190
Yes, ma'am.
approximately. Okay.
And I show that the term of the agreement goes through December 31st, 2024, so the granting entity that is sort of covers basically between now and the end of the calendar year 2024, that's the sort of the cycle of it.
That is correct. And you'll see a lot of that happening right now. 2024 is the end date given the use of American Rescue Plan funds.
Any further discussion? So the motion before,
Wait.
Councilman Rutherford.
Repeat what you just said again.
You'll see a lot of that in the grant space right now because it's a use of American Rescue Plan funds. This is American Rescue Plan funds from Oakland County that United Way is distributing on behalf of the county.
No, not that part. The part where you said the money has to be used by when?
Per the grant agreement, 2024, the end of 2024.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion before us? This resolution authorizes the city clerk to publish the proposed budget amendment, so that way the community knows that it's coming for ultimate decision 2 weeks from now. Hearing no further discussion, roll call on adoption of the resolution. Clerk Doyle.
Parker,
Yes.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Nicholson.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
That motion carries. The resolution is adopted, and the clerk is authorized to publish that proposed budget amendment. We are at our next resolution. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution to authorize Mayor Tim Greimel to execute the United Way of Southeastern Michigan Master Grant Agreement 2022-2023?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Rutherford, seconded by Councilman Parker. That motion is now before us. The administration has spoken to this. Any discussion on the motion before us? This authorizes the mayor to execute the terms of the master grant agreement with the granting entity. As was shared, these are Oakland County American Rescue Plan funds that are being administered and distributed by the United Way for Southeastern Michigan. Councilman Rutherford?
So it says that you guys are going to have reporting dates on the April the 14th, 2023. Will we be able to see the reports as you so use the money at that time?
The director is coming back.
Microphone?
Fumbling today. I believe your question was that you'd like to see the reports as we provide them. Would you like to see them specifically for this grant or for all of the grants going forward?
No, I just wanted to know how the money's being spent because it says it's a timeline of reporting. So I just want to see what have we spent, what was allocated, how do we do it, just for this particular one because it has to do with the youth and for the summer program. So.
Sure, I'd be happy to provide that. Just keep in mind, we provide reporting on all of our grant awards. So we do monthly, quarterly, or perhaps yearly reports to all of our funders.
Thank you so much.
And to that point, we might, at the subcommittee level, work out a system that, so that way it's not burdensome, or, sort of which one rises the level of needing to be carbon copied on those various items, just so we can see that. So I'll defer to Finance and Personnel or Parks, Recreation, Public Works on where that makes sense. Any further discussion on the motion before us? The resolution would authorize the mayor to execute the master grant agreement. And again, we're very grateful to your team, your staff, the city staff that has helped secure this important resources to allow us to expand the positive work for Pontiac's youth. Hearing no further discussion, roll call and adoption of the resolution. Clerk Doyle.
Rutherford,
Yes.
Carrington,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
That motion carries. The resolution is adopted, and the mayor is hereby authorized to execute that master grant agreement. Get your signing hand ready. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution to authorize the city clerk to publish the proposed budget amendment to increase budget revenues in the amount of $294,000 and appropriations in the amount of $150,000 for other professional services for Ruth Peterson Senior Center and $144,000 for other professional services for the Bowen Senior Center.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Rutherford, seconded by President Pro Tem Carrington. That motion is before us. The grant good news continues for Pontiac taxpayers. Mayor Grimo, you have the floor.
Indeed, President McGinnis, good news does continue to roll in.